You're watching the Batter Fans Network.
The heroes are back. Beards talking balls, rapping pink and black. Coming live from the 305, it's official tissue. The Batter Fan, Chris and Dan, weekly rocking with you. We talk Messi, Boosie, Jordy, Lucho, the Fat Four, to Ben Cram, Noah, Ruiz, Fred. What more could you ask for? Tighten up and get ready, listen in on the pod. Solana and X in Espanol, just to even the odds. Breakdowns and gas bagging, join the tribe and just vibe. $3.99, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't hesitate, say what's up, go ahead and come in. No question about it, I'm ready to get hurt again.
No question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Actually, I don't know where Chris is. He just stepped out a second. But welcome everybody to episode number 310 of the Battle Herons podcast. I am your host, Daniel Granada, and alongside me will be Mr. KBD and Messi Magic. It's what we come to expect, right? Messi will be the difference maker for us. Even though we have a good squad up and down the roster, Messi will be the MVP this year as long as he stays healthy. He is going to be the difference maker, and he will carry us to some victories like today. Today was a sloppy game in the first half. Second half looked a lot better, but Messi he got the decisive goal with the beautiful way he brought down that ball. There he goes. And decisive goal. What's going on, Chris? How are you doing, sir?
I mean, we ended it the way that you expected it. 1-0, no?
Yeah, but I thought Fafa would be that guy, but it's so easy to say Messi's going to be the difference maker, right?
Of course.
But Messi is Messi. He is the GOAT. And this right here, this is to, what was it that Sporting KC tweeted earlier? It said there's no escape. Come on.
They're escaping perfectly. They're escaping perfectly fine, Kansas City.
How foolish was that to tweet that earlier? Come on. It's just silly stuff. But I'm glad with the result, and we can go through our regular. But what's going on, man?
Yeah, man, it was a good showing in the second half. Way better, right? The first half, as we discussed, was like pretty clunky. You could tell that the weather was a big factor, and more so, especially after the slip towards the end for Redondo. That's where you could tell that the ground was even a huger factor. The fact that Redondo slipped so easily shows you that they just weren't able to plant their feet. So
no, and then like Solana was talking about what we said, the weather and the ball. I said when we started, I said heading that ball would be disastrous because that's going to hurt like hell. And Solana said that he's played in that weather and even kicking the ball, it feels like a rock. So that all made a difference. It feels heavier. You saw those through balls that Messi was trying to connect with in the first half. They just weren't getting through. They just were a little short. And it's just the weather played a big part. But in the end, Messi made the difference. The team overall played decent. And Sporting KC, although they tried to play for that counter and to defend, all you need is a little Messi magic. And the one goal was the difference. And you know, it's great. I'm happy. Great result. I mean, don't forget that last year we also won our first round, right? We beat Nashville, and then we fizzled out. So it's hopefully we beat KC, we move on, but it wouldn't be anything we haven't done already, right? We got to make it further than that. But it's a great start to the year.
Yeah, I think it is, and I think it's something to look forward to for sure. It's a great start to the year. We have 2 games coming up this week. We have a game against NYCFC, and then again against Sporting KC at home. It's good to look forward to for sure. Scott Carey saying Ustari and Drake out,
but that was already a given. Like we know he's the starter. Like people just like to pile on. Ustari almost gave me a heart attack. Ustari, although he has played well, and he didn't play poorly today, but he did do a couple things that took me aback a little bit. If you guys were watching in the watch along, we were taken aback by some of the little craziness. He's living on the wild side. Like that works against KC. But be careful when you try silly things like that against better teams, because that was a little crazy what he was trying out there.
Yes. Yeah, it was a little wild. And I think he's starting to show his wild side recently. And I don't know if it's to show like that he's good, with the ball at his feet and he's cocky. It's a little different than what you're getting from Calendar in the past.
but I'm okay with him if he's like trying to do things himself because he feels like I can handle this. What worries me is that he put another player in a bad position. I forgot what center back he gave the ball to, but he delivered it to him as the player is surrounded by two defenders. That's not the best look in the world. So I'm okay if you have confidence and you're like, you know what, I could work my way out of pressure, but don't put somebody else in that pressure because, look, Aviles has improved, but you remember last year, Aviles was a disaster under pressure.
Yeah.
You don't want to put him in that position. So, but can't say too bad because outside of that, Usadi was solid. And a lot of people were just not accurate with their passes, but a lot of that had to do with the weather and the way the ball felt. And I guess we can get into the weather. What did you think about, what everybody was wearing, how everybody looked miserable, the crowd? What do you think about all that stuff?
I mean, Messi and Suarez looked like they were wearing a pair of long johns. And not only that, but you had a lot of other people that were just bundled up as best as they could be. Goalies with robber masks. It was a sight to see. All the fans bundled up. The benches looked like they were miserable, just sitting there in the cold. So yeah, the weather was a big factor, man. And yesterday was a storm, and it wasn't as cold, supposedly.
But that's why they had to reschedule it, right? Because they said if it snows, then you get wet, and then it's more it's more dangerous for hypothermia because then you're wearing wet clothes because of the snow on top of the cold weather. So it was safety. It wasn't because Messi wanted it or Messi was scared. So this is for everybody that was saying that stuff. It's wild, and this is off topic, but I'm just gonna put this out there. The hate for Messi has gotten to another level. And I'm okay with it. Miami versus everybody. F everybody. I don't care. But I'm in a MLS group chat, right, with a bunch of people from across the MLS. And one of them just randomly said, hey, guys, I have the first overall pick in an MLS fantasy football league. Who should I pick that isn't Messi? My response is, are you not trying to win? Like, why would you have the first pick and not pick Messi? Like, is that's the
dumbest thing ever.
Where, like, what the hell? Like, it's so dumb. And then shout out to Ty from Wiseman because he's also in that chat and he co-signed. He's like, yeah, I wouldn't pick Messi either. I think he's going to have a bad year. I said, you know what? This to everybody, to all the doubters and people. And I don't even think they believe it. It's just that they want it to happen so much that they're trying to manifest.
They want to believe it so badly.
Yeah, they're saying it because they want to believe it. But get out of here. Like, Messi's going to take over this league this year. And this possibly could be biased, but I see this season being so effing great for us. And it's just because we have the GOAT. Like, I can't imagine that he would come play in this league and not win everything. Not Club World Cup. I don't count that. But like, Champions Cup, MLS Cup. Like, he is that player that has won everything in his career. I can't imagine that he's here and for the duration of the time that he's here, that he doesn't have at least one of everything. And again, I'm getting ahead of myself maybe, but the fact that everybody's hating to that level, it's like, come on, guys, really.
Well, and before we get over to the starting 11, I want to shout out to Christian with a CH for the super duper slam.
Oh, absolutely. Shout out to Chris. He spells his name correctly.
Whatever. So says Mash has these boys ball swarming better than anything we saw last year. That's his first point, which is true. A lot more activity.
No,
it's some more activity. I mean, it's not Diego Gomez level. Really, Danny? You didn't see?
I think people are so like, it's the recency bias. It's like, Tata's not here. Yes, we're gonna see. I haven't seen in the preseason. The defense didn't look any better than it did last year. What are you going to tell me? It looked more compact. No, it didn't look any better than it did last year. And then today, KC was just playing for a miracle goal and a counter. So I'm not saying it won't be better. I'm saying I haven't seen it to where it's like, oh, this team is like I heard Solana at some point in the and Solana will jump on with us later. But I heard him at some point say, oh, you see, Tata never had this many people defending. We did have this many people in the box defending. it was all counterattacks. And this year we're going to suffer with counterattacks. Now,
Yeah.
if we defend them better, that's great. We haven't seen it if it's better yet. So I get it. I know that everybody likes to pile on Drake because they hate him. Tata's gone, so everybody wants to pile on. We haven't seen that the defense is better with Mascherano yet. I'm sorry. And if you think that we have, maybe it's just me, but I don't think I've seen it yet. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but I haven't seen it yet.
And he also said that Suarez has got to get it together. Shout out to another super slam by Soccer Daddy. Says kudos to Messi. Keep it up, guys. Yeah, I mean, look, Messi was the difference maker in today's game. He handled the ball well on the pass and was able to navigate that defense, which was he was surrounded by like 2-3 players. So
I'll be saying what? What would I be saying, Shady? And then for everybody that's saying Drake out, I get it. All right, I get it. It's fun to pile on people for some reason. It's like this new generation Twitter mentality. Let's just pile on people. I get it. That's fine. But do you really think Drake is the worst backup in the world to have right now?
No.
Like right now, Ustadi's a starter. That's great. Granted, I think everybody understands that he earned the starting job.
Yes, absolutely.
But do you think it's bad to have Drake as the backup right now? Would you really want to see Drake leave without bringing somebody else in? I think it's good to have Drake as a backup.
I think it's great to have him as a backup. Raf is asking, make a Drake out t-shirt, Danny. Well, I mean, Carrie's saying no, not as a backup. I mean, unless she wants, Drake as a starter. Look,
Robert
he's
said
lost
Drake
that
would have
role.
allowed a goal. Why? When? At what point today would he have allowed a goal? At what point did Ustadi make a great save?
He did make a save towards not the end, but
on a free kick. There was one that I heard Solana going, "Ooh, what a save!" I hit off the post. That wasn't a save.
It looked like it hit off the post or off of his leg because he hit
But I
the
get
near
it.
post.
Everybody wants to hate on Drake so much that it's like, let's put him down to boost Ustadi up. Like, come on, man. Like, just relax. Leave Drake alone, is what I'm saying.
Well,
He's the backup. I get it. Leave him alone.
This is Dennis Lopez's words, not mine. Laugh out loud. Ustadi did absolutely nothing.
Today was a very sloppy day, and KC had no opportunities. I didn't see KC with any chances. The one that hit off the post.
Starting 11, Danny.
And real quick, Drake hasn't had a clean sheet in a hot minute. Yes, because it was counterattack after counterattack. We don't win the Shield if Drake doesn't stand on his head a couple of those games. So just putting that out there. But I'm going to stop defending Drake because it's pointless at this point. He's not the starter. And that's fine. He's a good backup.
So Ustadi started in between the sticks today. Back four was Noah Allen left back because Jordi Alba's out with that red card thing. Weigand Cello playing right back. Then you had Lujan and Aviles playing at the center back position. Telasco Segovia playing a left mid. Allende playing right mid. Busquets and Redondo as your pivots. And then you have Suarez and Messi at the top left and right, respectively. This was the same exact starting lineup that we saw in last week's match, or in the last match. Now you have Martinez there, but it is clearly Lujan.
Oh yeah. Right? Oh, look, that by me. I didn't fix that.
Now, as far as that starting lineup, what'd you think of that starting lineup?
I guess I'll leave it up, even though now I hate the fact that it's going to bother me that it says Martinez.
It's okay. But Florida Man is mentioning Martinez looks a little different.
Well, for the record,
he looks not injured in this picture. David Martinez is getting injured way too often.
For those of you that are watching the watch along, you saw that I came on here right after my job, so I didn't really have too much time to work on stuff. So this was done very quickly. I was surprised that Bright wasn't available, and I still haven't heard why. I don't know if you have.
No, nothing.
So that was surprising. But I was okay with this. Look, I told you, and if you go back a month, I predicted who the starters would be. I wasn't sure what formation they'd play, but I told you Allende would be the starter, and I told you Segovia would be the starter
Segovia.
because he was going to take Diego Gomez, and that's holding true. Those two are going to be the starters next to Redondo and Busquets, Messi and Suarez. So I'm not surprised by any of this because this is what I expected. Because Segovia and Allende are or should be the most skilled ones available for the midfield, and Redondo and Busquets it's almost a given that they were going to be there.
So while you're working on that, I want to bring this comment up. Stancy saying leg laceration for Bright. Now, Stancy has always been very reliable. Stancy has always been very reliable. But Stancy, I haven't seen anything. So I'm kind of questioning, where is the source of this reported leg laceration? Because this is critical. Because supposedly, allegedly, he injured himself lacerating his leg in snow, in the ice, which means he might have hypothermia, allegedly.
Look again. I'm looking because again I haven't, because I was watching the game on my tablet because we were doing the watch along. I didn't get on Twitter, so I'm scrolling now. And I don't see anything. I don't see anything that signals to that being the case. So,
Hold on. Wait. Soccer Daddy FC says someone said this in Discord by Kaufman.
Okay, maybe. I don't know.
Now, I imagine you're speaking of Michelle Kaufman.
Michelle Kaufman.
And Judas is saying Michelle is a reasonable source.
Yeah.
And El Bigote is saying it was too icy and he slipped. Oof.
I don't know. That sounds like, I find that hard to believe, but maybe that's what happened.
And then allegedly, Bigote is saying it turned into a hypothermic infection plague due to the coldness. Let's skip forward. Okay. Let's just leave that. Let that sit there for a little bit.
All right. Allende was playing a lot more inverted, a lot more centrally. He was cutting in a lot more. And Weigan was pushing up high often today, which I thought was really weird. But as far as the starting 11 go, and look, their new kits look nice on there. Did you have any comments or likes, dislikes on the starting 11?
Well, I mean, obviously, Bright, I would have preferred him over Redondo. But look, Redondo played a very good game, which we'll get into in just a bit.
So you still, look, I love Bright. But you still think that Bright should start over Redondo?
I feel like Bright in the preseason, without counting today, because today Redondo played a very, very good game. But in the preseason, I feel like Redondo hasn't played as good as Bright has, and he's had less minutes.
But you didn't get the sense that the thing is, Redondo, I feel has so much quality on the ball that I feel like even though he had a rough, because he didn't have the greatest preseason, right?
Yeah.
I still felt, because of, I guess you could say, potential, I would still feel like I have to start Redondo. Even though I do think Bright gives you a lot more defensively, I feel like Redondo, the potential that he has, I feel like you have to put him on the pitch.
But this is where I think it's going to play a factor. Reynolds is saying Bright and Redo would be rotated. I feel like what's going to end up happening is when we need to play defensively, it's Bright. When we need to play offensively, it's Redondo.
Yeah, if we're playing against a really good attacking team, like a Galaxy, for example, if Pooch was healthy, and if it was Pooch, Peck, they got Christian Ramirez now, and Penso, like that's a formidable attack. Okay, maybe Bright is the guy, right? Because Busquets has never been a greatest of all time defender. He's a great central defensive midfielder, but like he was, it's because of the magic he has with the ball at his feet, and he's not bad defending, but he's never been the best. So when you're talking about him now at his age, you're not gonna look at him to lock down anybody in the midfield. So Bright would definitely be that guy.
Yeah. Well, as far as the starting 11 goes, I was okay with this starting 11. Expected Noah Allen to be there. Lujan, I figured was the better starting option. So I wasn't surprised with this starting 11.
You thought Lujan over David Martinez? I think we all said that. Now, I was surprised that Falcon was available. I think he's going to debut on Saturday. Now that I saw he was available today.
I think it's going to be better that he debuts on Saturday anyways. And I feel like David Martinez had a tweak or got injured last game, at least off of the gameplay that we saw online. David Martinez, I don't know what it is, but I feel like he gets injured every couple games.
Well, that was the thing last year, right? We signed Freire, and we knew he had an injury history, which came to fruition, right? Because he got injured again. Then we brought David Martinez, but we also knew he had an injury history. Now, I don't know about Lujan. I don't think he has an injury history. I sure hope he doesn't. But that would really suck if that's the case.
Hold on. So, according to the Herald, Yannick Bright had a leg laceration in the ice. But then, according to the Miami Herald, by Martini Jack, Bright did not travel with the team, per Herald. So, which Herald are we going with?
No, I'm going with what? Who was that? I'm sorry, that just said that about the Herald with Martini. Martini Jack. I'm going with him because I'm sorry. The story of he was in KC, he fell and lacerated his leg on ice. It sounds very Discordish.
I mean,
shout out to the Discord, but sometimes the Discord is really funny. But then you don't know, do I take them seriously or are they joking around again? So I think this is a lot more serious.
According to quote unquote Michelle Kaufman, I don't know how true that is either. Did they put Kaufman with two ends at the end?
Said that. Okay, I'm gonna look this up. Go ahead, Chris. You can keep going. I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah. So Scheme, we're gonna go ahead and upload a Discord invite in just a little bit. We'll put that in the chat in a little bit. Rubita is saying fake news. Let's go ahead and move forward. So we went over the starting 11. I liked it. You liked it. Everybody was pretty okay with it. We start the game, and I guess we can get into a recap, but essentially this is a tale of two halves, right? First half, we saw that the weather made an immediate impact. Absolutely. Very slow game. The pitch was ice.
Michelle Kaufman hasn't reported anything about Bright getting his leg lacerated. So I just wanted to put that out there. Michelle Kaufman, unless she erased an old tweet, which I highly doubt, nothing about lacerating his leg.
Yeah, and right here, One World One Goes saying was not on the roster, leg cut in Florida, not on plane. So that's what One World One Goal is mentioning here. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll get some more news in a little bit if Baptist Hospital decides to give us a couple dimes. Like I said, first half, okay, all right. Rick A, this is a good this is good commentary. Bright cut himself shaving. Should have used Manscaped. Manscaped, please sponsor the podcast. Yes, because Dollar Shave Club sucks.
No, Manscaped is awesome.
I bought Dollar Shave Club. It was actually a really good deal, but those blades suck.
No, the Manscaped is awesome.
I was thinking about buying Manscaped, but I'm just a caveman that keeps buying Gillette blades like an idiot.
Okay. One World One Go said that it's in the tweet.
Okay. All right. Well, take a look at that. Take a look at that, Danny. And in the first half, literally nothing important happened. There was no injuries. There was no goals. There was no substitutions. It was just sloppy play, both sides. Luckily, we had a lot more possession, so you can tell that we were a lot more organized. But other than just
it also seemed like they didn't want the possession.
Well, it just seemed like nobody could even retain possession for too long. But luckily, we had more of the ball than they did. So that helped us out big time. And at this point, I'll take a 0-0 first half. I mean, you and I watched the first half during the live stream.
And I just found what on the article. Now, it sounds more believable now because all that Michelle Kaufman says is Calendar still recovering from an adductor injury. Bright has a leg laceration, and Alba is serving a rollover suspension from the Champions. At no point does she say Bright fell on ice while in Kansas City and lacerated his leg. So yes, she did say leg laceration. She didn't say it happened in Kansas City falling on ice. So yes. Okay. So now that was fact checked. I'm sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Luca Emma's thing still horrible,
Yeah, but
which it
I
is.
mean, it was quite the story though.
It's a cut. It's a cut. Skin comes back, all gravy in the Navy, baby. Rick A with a bunch of laughing emojis. It looks like Rick A cooked this story up. Probably put him falling off of a glacier. So, yeah, first half, like I said, Danny, I mean, we both watched it. It was just very sloppy. What did you think of the first half?
Like you said, it was sloppy. It felt like no team could string together 2 or 3 more passes. I was surprised because I had never seen Messi come up short on through passes as much as he did in that first half. I mean, it wasn't like a crazy amount, but it was 3 or 4 times I thought that he was trying to catch somebody running in behind the defense, and it was like the KC guys just could get their foot on it, and that's not something you usually see. But again, it goes back to that ball, and I'm sure he had to just adjust because in the second half he looked much better. But yeah, the first half sloppy. It looked like a ping pong, right? It was just back and forth, ping ponging, because although Miami held the possession more, as soon as they got into the final third, they would lose the ball. They couldn't connect 2 or 3 passes together in the final third. Obviously, KC was defending with numbers in the box, making it more difficult. And they tried a long pass, wouldn't work out, and then we just do the same thing over again. Miami would progress the ball up, lose it in the final third, and it just felt like it was just back and forth. Not a extremely boring game, right? Because it's constant action back and forth.
Well, we did have a couple
definitely
opportunities.
Sloppy. Well, and with Suarez, which you said that he learned from Robert Taylor, which is fine, but the way he created space for himself, and I thought he had the angle. I thought he might get that far post, but that was probably the best chance in that first half.
Yeah, it was. And I mean, the good thing is he was able to find that space. Martini Jack saying first half was clearly frozen soccer. Nobody really pushing. I think number one, look, they were all trying to get their bearings under them. But at the same time, like they just weren't able to find great footing. Fox 1 man coverage is so weird.
They only had one man in the booth?
Really?
We've been doing the watch along, so I wasn't listening. So I don't know.
Yeah. And Rick A is saying Bright tripped on one of Rocco's eyelashes and cut himself that way. I believe that. There was another comment up there, but then it was, yeah. I do think, like I said, the first half sucked, but the second half is where things started really to get rolling. Solana comes on, best of luck, right? We finally get a substitution made on KC's side at the 46th minute, and we were connecting a lot better with our passing. We were advancing the ball comfortably. Right. I think the team finally had their opportunity of really understanding on how to be able to play on that pitch. And
we made them wait at halftime again. Not as long as usual, but we made them wait again to come up.
Yeah, it didn't seem like
they were on there warming up because Miami came out a little later.
Battered Florida man says, check out the name change. Good stuff. I like that. But I'll tell you this much. You could tell that the link-up play was a lot better. You could tell that the overlapping runs were a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell.
Keep going.
Hold on. We were playing
comeback. The final third.
The quality in the final third was amazing because Messi scored. He got to be. Look at that. You got a 4. You guys got a 4-piece. Boom. 4-piece of verbiage. And on top of that, you had Busquets with a beautiful pass. Messi with beautiful pass. Messi with better control and gets around the defenders with his right foot, and boom, goes the dynamite to the far post. I got notes.
There you go. Hey, we've decided that we're gonna have to just start bringing more football knowledge because we have too much fun. So
Yeah,
people just assume that we just talk out our ass the whole time.
yeah, yeah. I mean, look,
Um,
Joe Rico, nice football talk. Yes.
um, I think that Busquets pass was the first long pass that I saw land accurately, and it landed
Yes.
perfectly right on Messi's chest. And people aren't talking enough about the control that Messi had bringing that ball down in a tight space. The way he brought it down, there was a defender right there, and he brought it down and was able to shift it over to his right leg anyway and get the angle and enough space to shoot far post. Man, Messi is absolutely killing it, and it was just great to see.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Like always, it just takes a little Messi magic, and I mean that's just what he does.
I'll tell you what I think. I think that was a beautiful pass. I think we were finally connecting on those kind of passes, the advancing passes. And that's kind of what I started to enjoy with watching the second half. Yeah, I'm cooking, baby. I mean, I'm telling you guys, I got notes. I don't know. I told you guys, I prepared you guys for this. The moment I comb hair over and I got notes, it's a wrap for the whole game.
Yeah. So it's we're gonna start just throwing them out there, Chris.
Yeah. 62nd minute. Yeah, KC makes a bunch of substitutions. We make a substitution, get Tadeo Allende off the pitch, and Fafa comes in 73rd minute. Yellow card given in to Manu Garcia in the 74th minute. Velasco Segovia gets off, thankfully, because he looked like he got injured. And this is a great comment. This is a great comment by Marasovic. Football knowledge is an illusion. So, yeah, go ahead.
No, keep going.
No, yeah, I mean, we basically wrap up the game with Redondo getting a yellow card. Ben Krem comes in for Segovia, and then Luis Suarez gets out in the 90th minute for Robert Taylor. And luckily, we end the game. No injuries. We win 1-0, which is great for us. And we get to come back next week to dry pink and play our second leg against Sporting KC.
Now the issue here is that Redondo got that yellow because I think that let me double check, but is it 2 yellows in one round and you get suspended for the following game? I mean, we have Bright as a backup, so I guess it's,
yeah. Well,
we're lucky in that aspect. Yes, that's true. But yeah, that would be bad. You don't want to see in these type of tournaments. You don't want to see yellow cards. Right?
Well,
but,
and if you want to feel, if I want you to feel is saying, let's rest Redondo, I do think that that's not a bad idea. And Solana is here saying, yes, sir, 2 yellows and you're out.
Yeah, so that's not good because now he can't be as aggressive defending next week. So
Yeah.
that's worrisome. Now, were you surprised at how long the starters went?
I was surprised that Messi played the whole game.
Yeah,
Especially when we didn't need the offense towards
Luis
the end.
Suarez basically played the whole game also. He played 90 minutes.
Yeah, basically. I feel like they could have came off 10 minutes earlier. I feel like if we would have brought in on other players, and in reality, look, Fafa, I mean, if you want to keep him up as a striker, we were winning 1-0. We don't need the point.
When you look at this lineup, because there were only 3 substitutions. So
yeah,
the back line isn't going to get subbed out. Ustari isn't going to get subbed out. Messi obviously isn't getting subbed out. And our double pivot, I guess it's not getting subbed out either. Busquets usually runs the 90.
Well, we had no Bright. So if we had Bright, they would have.
Maybe Redondo comes out for Bright, right? Especially in a late game with a 1-0 lead. It looks like these two, Segovia and Allende, will probably be the guys that are getting subbed off most often. And then Suarez, I guess I wouldn't mind seeing him, but we really don't have somebody to come in for him. Robert Taylor, I love, but putting him in as a striker, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right. And now, so we're done with the game recap, right? I'll take that as a yes. Chris.
Yeah, I mean, other than standouts, get Pena and man of the match.
All right. So let me bring on Solana here. I see him in the backstage. Blagata. What's going on, Solana? How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, man. A little 1-0 win away, a little away goal, and Messi gets the winning goal. I'm
Messi
happy,
magic.
man. I cannot be upset at what's going on.
Now, well, we were just talking about the minutes. Were you surprised at how long they went?
Absolutely. And Chris and I were talking during the second half. I thought Messi and Suarez should have came off in the 65th, 70th minute right after they had that 1-0 lead, and maybe it should have gone to a 5-3-2, bring in Peluca, give him some minutes, and see what Fafa can do up top alone, maybe with Taylor or with one of the other players.
I was also surprised. I thought that when because I didn't know that Peluca was on the bench. This would have been a great chance to kind of give him a little run towards the end of the game.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, with Inter Miami up 1-0 and man, I got 1 terabyte. What are you talking about? 56K modem, 1 terabyte.
Now you're looking a lot better.
Yeah, look, he caught you out. All of a sudden, your image got clear.
Oh no, I'm on that 1080p Logitech camera, man. I gotta be fully, on
crispy
1080p. Yeah, you got to be seeing my freckles on my face and everything. What's going on?
No, don't worry. It fixed itself.
All right,
Ask and you shall receive.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, I thought Peluca should have played at least 10-15 minutes, at least to get him some movement and some chemistry within the team. I thought the game was done. 70 minutes in, I thought the game was completely done. Sporting KC really didn't show anything.
They showed no life.
Nothing.
Today.
The entire game. I mean, Inter Miami dominated the entire game. Mm-hmm. It was just the final third that you had mentioned in the halftime, and also in the first half that it was costing them. They just couldn't figure out that final pass in the final third. Had they figured it out, it could have been 3-4-0.
Yeah, no, and I think that it's going to be a big difference next week. I think Miami. I don't want to jinx it, but I feel a little overconfident with next week's game here at home.
I feel like playing Falcon in this game, if you would have taken out Suarez just to kind of super duper park the bus, then maybe, I guess. But I think it would have been kind of dangerous to bring in a guy that hasn't played a minute with this team in competition, or Ian Frey for that matter, in this kind of weather. So I feel like at this point, with the way that things were panning out, I think the substitutions were fine. I feel like if you would have subbed in somebody for Suarez or for Messi, it should have been 10 minutes prior. And I don't think I would have brought in Falcon or Ian Frey.
Now, having Messi on the pitch does keep the other team honest, right? Because you feel a little more hesitant to kind of play for that time, even though I don't think they would have done it anyway.
Yeah.
But with Messi out there, you definitely know you got to play it safe because you got that dangerous guy behind it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So standouts. What were your standouts for this game? We asked the chat, and we'll ask Solana and Chris. What were the standouts for this game?
You want to go first, Chris?
No, you go ahead.
I thought my standouts today were Lujan, even though he had 1 or 2 mishaps. I thought overall he had a fantastic game. Obviously, Messi. And I know that we're going to give a man of the match other than Messi in a little bit. But Messi with the goal obviously has to be one of your standouts. Absolutely. And I thought the third standout was Redondo. I thought for what he showed in the preseason, he definitely stepped it up today, and he was good both defensively and offensively.
A lot of people picking Lujan. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, which is great. I'm going to go with Redondo. I feel like Redondo had a fairly good game. Yeah. A lot better than how he's played, I think, collectively in the entire preseason. I think this was his best showing in 2025. And I think it's great that he's showing this, and I think it's great he's showing the progression, because this is something that we've been asking for and that we need from this player.
Okay. Well, you said Redondo already. Solana, you said Lujan.
He said Lujan.
And I see a lot of people in chat say, Lujan didn't have a bad game, but I didn't think he stood out to me. I thought KC was dead. KC didn't do anything that I thought
Yeah.
warranted anything. But all right. So Lujan Redondo, it's Messi. I thought obviously stood out. I thought Allen stood out. The fact that they were letting him push up, like they went with the same left back tactic, right? He's gonna push up, even though it's not Jordi Alba. Noah Allen was given the freedom to do that also.
Yeah.
So I love that. And then Busquets, it was only one goal, and it was that pass. It was such a beautifully placed pass that landed right on Messi's chest. So I think Busquets, although he didn't have a standout game per se, but that pass right there, that was the difference. Obviously, Messi controlling the ball, bringing it down.
Yeah.
And there's a defender draped all over him was also a big part of it. But you got to give Busquets credit for delivering the ball.
Great composure. He had really great composure on that play.
All right. So if you're gonna give a Que Pena award, who would the Que Pena award go to?
You want me to go first?
Go for it.
I'm going with Chelo Wigan. I thought he had an okay game, but he had a lot of turnovers. And honestly, I just for everybody that
Are you
played
pandering to the chat right now?
absolutely not. You know me.
I
I do not tweet, and I do not make my statement for likes.
I don't see how Chelo was the Que Pena award at all.
Absolutely. I thought Chelo was the Que Pena. I mean, I don't think anybody deserves the Que Pena awards tonight. I thought Inter Miami was the dominant team overall. But if I have to give it to somebody, like I said, it's going to be Chelo, just because I thought he had a lot of turnovers. He could have done better on the offensive end, and I expect a lot more from him.
You know, I agree with the point that you made. I don't think that there's someone in particular that had a terrible game. Like that should obviously get the Que Pena award.
Right.
Like I feel like everybody played fairly well. Now, I do think that Chelo played defense better, but again, it's like it's such a weird thing because go ahead, Danny.
No, I'm sorry to cut you off, but he wasn't given these offensive responsibilities in the preseason, which is what I was happy about. He wasn't pushing up this high in the preseason. Allende was filling up that space on the right side. So I was surprised that he was pushing up so high today.
I feel like the problem with Chelo is like there's so much bashing that if he has like from a 1 to 10, if he has like a 6 game, people are like, oh, nice. Okay. Now, this is the man I would give the Que Pena go to, which is Suarez. Suarez, which is someone that you expect excellence from. And unfortunately, whether we like it or not, we expect excellence from an excellent
I thought he
player.
created the best chance outside of the goal, obviously.
He did, but then towards the end, when Solana and I were watching the game together, there were a number of plays where he tried to facilitate instead of dominate. Where he tried to facilitate for other players.
Can I change my vote? Can I change my vote?
Okay, go for it.
I vote for Suarez.
Okay.
I vote for Suarez. Other than the one chance he had, other than the one chance that he showed that he had 3 or 4 other opportunities where he could have played the ball to Noah, played the ball to somebody else, and he didn't. It was the turnover. So I changed my vote to Suarez.
Yeah, I'd give it to Allende. I felt like when we kept saying that in the final third they would constantly turn it over, I felt like it was Allende often turning it over in the final third. So I give it to Allende. I think Allende had the poorest game, and I'm not gonna say he was horrible by any means, but if I have to pick somebody, I think Allende had the poorest performance out of anybody.
Now, again, I want to preface this by saying, look, Suarez was confused a lot, and the problem is, again, in normal circumstances, I feel like Suarez would have made the better play, but considering the circumstances in the field, look, the Chelo hate, I feel like Suarez clearly, because of the expectation, played probably the worst, but I don't think that anyone played particularly terrible.
I look, Chelo didn't have a great game, but again, today was a little out of what we saw in the preseason, where he wasn't pushing up as high. Today he was being counted on for some reason to contribute in the attack, but I didn't think Cello had a horrible game. Everybody's like, oh, but he passed the ball over. He turned the ball over. Everybody turned the ball over. If you look at how many passes Messi completed, he usually completes the majority of them. Today he had a lot of incomplete passes. Like this just wasn't a good game for that. So I didn't think Cello was the worst. I'd have to give it to Allende. I just saw somebody put up Segovia apparently with the score had the worst score. I thought Segovia just wasn't involved, period. Even though Noah Allen was getting the freedom to push up, I didn't think that the ball was being progressed up that left side very often. I felt like it was dominated on the right side for some reason. So, we'll see.
You know, I might have to change my vote for a second time. I might have to vote for Tommy two-time just because, I mean, Atlanta United isn't even in the CONCACAF Champions League, and he's a great guy, and he's tuning in to the battered herons here of our post-game show of Inter Miami winning 1-0. So I might have to give it to Tommy two-time, literally just for tuning in, and his team's not even the CONCACAF Champions League. Just saying. To
be fair, look, I've held back from talking crap to Atlanta fans just because they hold last year over us. We can't do anything about it.
Yeah,
I'm hoping we beat up on them in a couple weeks. So we'll see. But yes, and Martini said barely noticed Segovia. That ball just was never on that left side.
Yeah,
unfortunately. But on Saturday, when Jordi Alba's back, he will be working those overlapping runs by Jordi Alba, cutting in, getting those balls connected with Messi and Suarez. That's what I'm expecting to see. That's what I felt like I got a little glimpse of in the Orlando game. So I think Segovia will have a big game on Saturday and next week also when Jordi Alba's back.
So, I mean, and look, Tommy's saying, wait, a watch along for the Miami game?
Aren't you going to be at the game, Tommy? So, all right.
Man of the match other than Messi.
Man of the match. Okay, so we talked about the standouts, but who was the man of the match other than Messi? Because obviously it is Messi. Goal scorer, Messi magic, the difference in the game. He's going to tear it up this year, man. I'm so excited to see what he does this year. He's going to absolutely tear it up. Solana, I know that I'm in a MLS chat with you. I don't know if it's the same one. I don't know if you saw, and maybe it's a different one, but I know you're in one of them. Somebody was saying that they had the first pick in a MLS Fantasy Football League.
Yeah.
Are you part of that one?
No, I'm not, but I heard about it. Why in the hell would you not pick Messi?
It's the Messi hate. It's so dumb.
I don't get it. Who are they picking? CR7?
But yeah, might as well. I think they were like, oh, you should get Evander. Like, what?
Oh, what a waste.
Oh my God.
If I was second pick, I would say that, oh, get Evander, bro. I'll pick up
Cincinnati.
You know what?
Cincinnati just got scored on, so it's 1-1 right now. Motagua just scored in the 40th minute. It's 1-1 in the first round of the CONCACAF Champions League between Cincinnati and Motagua.
And shout out to Chris, because that's a great point. Maybe the person saying get Evander might have been the person that's in the league with them saying get with the second pick. All right, so let me go through some of these. Man of the match other than Messi, I see Redondo here. Redondo and Busi.
I'm picking Redondo.
Busquets.
I'm picking Redondo.
Busquets. Really? You can pick Redondo? Man.
Yeah.
I don't think I have to go Busquets also, just because he won us the game, because it's man of the match other than Messi, and he's the one that supplied Messi with that beautiful goal. So I Busquets, I think, is a safe bet.
My man of the match is Mascherano.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, Circus Fun says Javier Mascherano first win. Man of the match.
I thought he made decent subs. I thought he had
you said he subbed out the players too late.
He did, but the subs the subs that he put in, I thought were great. Other than not putting Peluca, and other than that, he had a great game plan. So I give it to Javier Mascherano. The team did exactly what it needed to do at the in the ice, in the frozen tundra, or whatever you want to call it.
All right.
It's
not a bad pick. I mean,
Circus and me are on a vibe. We're on a vibe right now. Circus. And
come on, Danny.
It's too much whiskey. It's too much whiskey for Solana then during halftime. This man said Mascherano was the man of the match of the Messi.
What was your-
somebody just put defensive flowers? Defensive for what? They didn't do anything. They played the counter.
Hey, look, deserves of flowers.
I guess.
Throw him his roses, baby. It was just Valentine's. Throw him his roses.
Dennis is asking, can we trade Solana to the Timbers?
No,
we get-
anywhere except for where Neville is.
No, I was about
Anywhere
to say,
except for
we
where
get,
Neville
we get Neville back. We get Neville back.
gosh, definitely not. I mean, Neville on the battered hairs than me. I'm not gonna lie.
Look, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie to you. I think Neville might be a fun guy to talk to. I just get that
Yes.
vibe. Like he must be like a really fun guy to talk to.
Absolutely. So other than that, I guess the last topic before we end the show is your Italia moment of the match. Do you have, Danny, Italia moment of the match, a 1 World 1 goal Italia moment of the match? Because I would have to say it is when Redondo slipped on his ass in the corner, because that shows exactly what the conditions of the pitch looked like.
Neville, yeah, I saw that tweet that he hates Valentine's Day. Do you have one, Solana? While I sit here and think, mine was Ustari showing that he has major balls, but maybe not a major brain. The way he rolled the ball in front of two defenders there and almost cost us, because that was a silly move. So he definitely has big balls but small brain. So that was my moment of the match.
Yeah, I think my moment of the match was when Messi had Suarez wide open on a through ball, and he, I guess, misjudged the fact that the ball was an absolute brick, and he just left it short. That would have been the first goal in the first half. So
there was a lot of through balls that were short. It felt that way, yeah.
But there was one clear one that I felt that Suarez had the jump on the defender, and if Messi would have played it a little bit harder, I think he would have gotten a clear opportunity to goal.
I changed mine. I agree with this comment. Oh, I just lost it. Oh, there you go. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Yeah. Somebody else said it also. Ali A said it also. Yeah. That was the moment of the match. And it happened so quick because you like see it at the corner because it wasn't even centered.
Yeah, he did
like a
like
body
a
just go.
backflip.
He didn't even bite anybody. That's great.
Yeah, it was wild. That was a funny moment. But that's when you knew that he was warming up, like he wanted it, and that was cool to see. Look, Suarez, for those of you who forgot, the first two games last year started off very slow. And people were like, oh, he's done. He's washed. Game number 3 against Orlando, balled out. And then it was just off to the races. So this is game number 1. Give him on Saturday. Even though the preseason wasn't horrible. He had 5 assists in 5 games. But he'll start cooking really soon. So don't worry about Suarez. He'll cook. He'll be cooking.
Breaker MC said, no entiendo nada, pero aguanta Messi.
Breaker, tiene que ir al canal de las Garzas y suscríbase, que nosotros vamos a tener un programa el lunes que viene a las 10. Cada lunes a las 10 tenemos un programa en español, Las Garzas CF. So,
hey, when are Las Garzas t-shirts coming up on the batteredherons.com?
El sábado, Saturday, I told you.
But I wanted mine ready for Saturday.
Oh, no,
is there any way to get one before Saturday?
You're cooked.
I'm sorry, you're cooked. The reason I've taken so long to get the cellos one out is because we're testing out some new shirts so I can see if we can find even better quality.
Nice.
But unfortunately, testing samples, having to get it mailed in and stuff takes a little while.
I mentioned to Chris that I put in the Battered Herons Discord. I know you're going to post it up here in a second for everybody that's in the chat that wants to join, but the folks that are there it is. That's exactly what I'm going to. The folks that are in the Battered Herons Discord want to do a Battered Herons fan picture before the game. I threw up a poll up in there. I don't know if you're interested, Danny, but if you are, I mean,
the way things are going for me right now. For those of you that are watching the watch along, you saw the little baby I had here. That baby is attached to the mom by the hip. So we're going to attempt to leave her with a babysitter, either my mother or her sister, for a couple of hours. But both babysitters are terrified of having to watch this baby for like 4 or 5 hours because when mom's not around, she loses it. So I will probably be getting to the stadium as late as possible, right before the game starts, maybe even a couple minutes into the game, and I will be running out of there as early as possible. So,
but one of the choices, I know a lot of people have said before, one of the choices in the poll I dropped was halftime. So if you're interested in, if you're okay with doing halftime, then we can all join up right outside your section at halftime.
It would have to be by the Bustelo stand.
Let's do it. I'll throw it in the Discord after here. Everybody knows halftime at the Bustelo stand, Battered Herons meetup, and we'll get all
that's
the
where you could. That's where we are every halftime. We go to the Bustelo stand to get a little coffee.
And the worst part is that you have to go all the way around the entire.
Hopefully
stadium.
They change that. If anybody that works there and has any power over Chase Stadium, can you please connect the whole stadium? Because the fact that if you're sitting in the south stand and you got to walk all the way around to get to the west stand, it kills you because you end up missing the first couple minutes of the.
I got you, Danny. I'm gonna be in the north stand, so I'll get your Bustelo. You get all the Battered fans together, and I'll bring a couple of coladas for everybody that's there, and I'll serve everybody. No worries.
So then we'll meet at the east stand then.
That'll be the right way to do it. We can meet at the east stand.
We'll meet by the.
We'll meet at the north. Yeah,
we'll meet at the Bustelo stand.
We'll meet at the Bustelo, and I'll get in line before everybody. I'll have the coladas ready for everybody.
We'll figure it out. All right. Yeah. So, any final thoughts, gentlemen?
I'll start. Awesome game. Great way to start the season. Absolutely. 1-0 in the snow. And I can't wait for this. I am so gassed for this Saturday. My son is gassed too. It's going to be a blast.
I'm gassed for the season, period.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I thought it was an absolute shit game. I'm happy with the result. Obviously, getting an away goal, keeping a clean sheet. If you guys haven't been keeping track, that's if I'm not incorrect, I believe that's a third clean sheet in 6 games so far this season. So that's something to keep in mind for Inter Miami going forward. And just like Chris said, I'm psyched. I'm psyched for Saturday. I'm going with like 15 people. I'm going squatted, so I'm going to be tailgating. I'll be out there with my whiskey. So I'm glad to see the both of you crazy mofos out in Chase Stadium for the 2025 season. We had a great time last year, and I'm looking forward to another great season.
Yeah, and like Matt said, I'll take a 1-0 win in negative 20-degree weather. Look, I said if this ended 0-0, I'd be okay because I think we could win next week at home. So I thought that it would be fine. The fact that we added an away goal and we won, you have to feel great. Not good. You have to feel great about next week's game because we could literally, and not that we will because we're not that team, but we could literally play for a 0-0 draw and advance at this point. We actually no, we can't because if they were to score with them, it's an away goal for them.
Yeah, it had to be a 0-0 draw.
Right, but it could be a 0-0 draw, and we could have a 1-1 draw, and we would advance at this point. So we are in great position, and like you said, great way to start the season. I couldn't be happier.
The low next week, by the way, is 60 degrees.
That's right. It is going to be getting cooler, though.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
It is. I might wear a sweater.
We might all look in the stands like how the KC fans look today, and the difference in weather is going to be 60 degrees.
Yeah, that's very true, and that would be a very funny take and picture if people would see that. That is true. So you guys think that Mascherano made a difference today? I'm not saying that he's not making a difference, but today specifically,
man of the match, other than Messi, Danny, you don't get it. You don't get it. You don't get it.
I'm double checking.
No, double check. Don't triple check. You're checking too much.
But with Solana, I'm asking you now.
Absolutely. I think Mascherano is definitely
Mascherano of the match.
No doubt. That's got to be the name of the award but by now. Mascherano of the match.
Mm-hmm. All right. If you guys say so. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm sure eventually I'll see it. All right. We'll be back tomorrow to preview the NYCFC Inter Miami game this Saturday, the first game of the regular season. We're going to have Davy on, which was on here, saying he was checking on the ops earlier. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but he's going to be on with us to preview that game. And for those of you that don't know, we don't have the best of histories against NYCFC, with or without Messi. So that's going to be a fun conversation we're going to have tomorrow. And we're also going to have a battered MLS fan show tomorrow night, which is going to be a prediction kind of preview if anybody's interested in the rest of the league tomorrow night at after the battered Heron. So I think that's it. Mascherano out coming soon. Look, I'm going to end it with this. There's a couple coaches that are in the hot seat across the MLS. I think any coach that coaches this team is automatically on the hot seat, which I think sucks. But I think if you don't have a success in this team, you are automatically in the hot seat. So,
unfortunately.
Yeah. So the whole Mascherano out, I'm not surprised if I see those soon.
Yeah.
All right. If you're listening on audio, we appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please leave us 5 stars, comment, review, all that other good stuff. If you're watching live, please leave us a like. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. If you're watching us later on the replay, again, like and subscribe. It helps us out a ton. And for those of you in the chat, as always, you guys are the best part of the show. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us for the last hour and minute or two. And again, if you joined us in the watch along, that was a lot of fun. We appreciate you hanging out with us for that also. We'll be back tomorrow, like I said. And then on Saturday, we'll be at the stadium. So hopefully we see you guys out there and we get another dub. Start the season 2-0. All right. Oh, and Jack Carr said we finally got 100 likes. Thank you, people, because you guys are so sticking with us.
230. We had like 2 something higher than that. Like
okay.
Come on, guys. It's free 99.
It's all right. We appreciate everybody, and we'll be back tomorrow. So until the next one, have a good one.